everyone, and welcome, and the Lord's blessings to you. Today's topic is get a job. Um, you know what? It's not uncommon for homeless people to have jobs. Actually, they'll do part-time jobs and such, or they'll have a little business that they'll do. It's not actually that uncommon. So it's not necessarily that people don't have jobs. And I've met one man after another who, whether it was a girlfriend or wife, they break up and they just don't want to be in a house anymore. They just don't want it. And of course, then you have some guys that have had kids and they're deadbeats and they don't want to deal with the collections and all that, and they're sort of hiding, and it really pisses me off when deadbeats get on like food stamps and disability. It's like, no. Like, your kids are your responsibility. They're not my responsibility or anyone else's in this nation's responsibility. You brought them in, you take care of them. And it really pisses me off when you do have deadbeats who then get on programs. It's like, no, I don't agree with that, especially if they have a side job. And then you have other people who, for some reason, one reason or another, I don't know, they don't work. And I found that some of them, because I don't know if you know, with foster, people who go into foster care, they actually have a very, very, very high probability of becoming homeless. And a lot of them don't finish out high school. And sometimes at best they may have a GED, but they really don't have much education, and they're not interested in that either. Which with females can get you into really bad industries. And you age and you don't necessarily want to do that, and they just feel controlled by a lot of things. So I don't know. It's a pistol. And then you have people who collect bottles out of trash cans, because here in California, which I find really frustrating, how they do recycling. Where I'm from, it's like all the church schools, they all have paper gators. You always have a place to fit your paper. And the state actually used to be really excellent of having recycling everywhere, but then some governor took it away. But we still have, for the bottles, because we have a tax on our bottles, and but every, sorry, finding my words can be difficult. Grocery store. Every grocery store has, you recycle your bottles at the grocery store. Unlike LA, where they have these nasty ass places, and some are just set up in parking lots. But the way they recycle here, it's just creepy. I really don't like it. So a lot of people, even though you're paying like 10 cents on a bottle, and you don't necessarily get 10 cents back. That's the crazy thing. Where I'm from, it's like you pay 10 cents, you get 10 cents, period. Here, it's like, well, we'll give you this much for this many pounds. It's like, what the hell is that? Like, if you put in 10 cents, you get 10 cents back. But it's LA. It's California. Why would we want to be logical? So a lot of people just throw all their recyclables in a trash can. And asinine. It's so asinine. It's actually illegal to take trash out of the trash. And they'll have people in F-150s going around, city workers, picking through the trash. And they actually have it plastered on different vehicles, especially trash trucks. If you see a person taking bottles out of the trash can, call this number immediately. And I've known guys who have gotten harassed by cops, and they're like, no. Either they're like, oh, I didn't know, or it's like, no, I only do it at night when no one can see me. Like, no one saw me picking these up. Like, they're mine. And it's really sad, because they're not panhandling. Not everyone panhandles. I mean, the great majority of people I know do not panhandle at all. And some of them will go to businesses, and it's like, do you need just a little bit of work? Can I do anything? And it was really cute. This one guy I knew, he always hung out at this, it was like a mini mall, and so he was sort of like their guard, and he would, keep it clean, and make sure people weren't, being uncouth, and then they would let him use, or, get whatever he needed from their stores. It was a really nice, system. But yeah, so, and it's interesting. I heard of one guy who actually, someone offered him a place. They're like, come out and live. And he went there, and it was sad because he was an alcoholic. And he looked around at the trash cans and he's like, I can't collect enough bottles to get the alcohol, and I refuse to ask for money. And so he stayed on the streets because he didn't want to be that big of a burden. And you really need to understand that not everyone wants to be a ward of a state. And this is the best I can do. And maybe you cannot condemn me for doing the best I'm doing. Like, I know I'm not living up to your standards, but maybe your standards need to be kept to yourself. Maybe your standards need to be altered when they're dealing with people that aren't you. Yeah, so people are doing stuff, and there's a lot of people who don't panhandle. There really are a lot of people who don't panhandle. I know a guy who people have come up and tried to give him money, and he won't. He will not take it, which I'm just like, what the heck? Take it and give it to me. Like, I have to, like, keep this car up. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, there's a lot of people who won't take money. And it's really a shame that we condemn the guys who are going around and picking up the cans, getting, I say let them take the recyclables out. I mean, this is ridiculous. So, I mean, it's not a pleasant, you wouldn't want to do it. 99% of people out there would not want to do it. I mean, there's a lot of crap in those trash cans. And it's amazing because, I mean, people eat out of those trash cans, and it's different. And you can marginalize us all you want, but it doesn't help the situation. I know I was on the phone with my dad the other week, and because of where they live, it's very cold. And, and I saw it when I lived there. Like, even you can go below zero, you can be -10, -20, and people will not come off the streets. And my dad's just like, they're really mentally sick. And I'm like, you don't get to say that. You don't get to judge that person because you've never been in a shelter. You don't know what they're like. And if they can, it's amazing what humans and animals can survive. And if that is where they're comfortable, and that's where they're okay, well then let them be. They're not hurting anyone. They're not asking to come into your house. They have a safe place, a place that may not be acceptable to you, but it's not in your house or on your property. And they're not hurting anyone. So just let them be. So, okay. So to wrap up, men should be able to pick cans out of trash cans and recycle them. Not everyone panhandles. A lot of people do not panhandle. And the people who do, especially, and I had a friend call me up. She's like, oh my gosh, there's a report on TV of how people panhandle and they're not homeless. And then they go and jet set from one town to another panhandling. It's like, people like that, you're scumbags. Like, how dare you take money from someone who actually need it? Like, get a life, get a job. If you're that capable and have that much health, do something productive. Don't be a leech, especially a leech that is actually taking money away from people who actually need it. That's really, people like you, people who do that are just, I really find despicable. But yeah. So, and yet again, like, some of the guys, like, the solution is just let me, like, pick cans. Is this really that offensive that I'm not panhandling and doing my best to take care of myself and keeping off of programs? And it's just really important to realize that not everyone wants to be a ward of the state. And let me do the best I can. God bless you. Bye-bye.